It's the first week of May and the new NRL22 2023-2024 season is beginning. A short time ago, I released a video covering my rifle and the gear that I'm using going into the new season. And I'm sure a lot of people saw that video and they're thinking that it looks daunting considering the gear that I'm using, and it's pretty top shelf stuff and it's quite expensive comparatively speaking. And I wanted to record this video while I'm out here at the range today to make sure that people understand that NRL22 is definitely an entry-level novice discipline where anyone can come in and just start competing, and you don't need high-end gear and it's not much of an investment. So let's dive right into it. First and foremost, you actually don't need anything to show up to an NRL22 match. Reach out to your local match director in your area and tell them, hey, I want to shoot NRL22. I don't really have a rifle yet, and so I want to just see what it's like before I make an investment. Your match director, they should be responding and helping you out and saying, hey, yeah, definitely come out. We'll let you use a rifle. We either have a loaner, or you can just borrow one of the match directors or one of the fellow shooters who shows up to the match, and then maybe compensate them for the ammo that you're using, and you're good to go. That being said, if you want to just dive into NRL22 and come to a match, and with not having to borrow equipment, here's kind of the bare minimum that you'll need. First off is a rifle. We need a scoped rifle with a detachable magazine and basically with an optic or scope. I've seen on occasion somebody will show up to a match with a red dot sight. It's not going to happen. I admire your confidence in being able to shoot targets with a red dot sight, but we're shooting at very small targets. Even though it's a 1/4 inch at 25 yards, it's going to be kind of hard to shoot that with a red dot. I know people think, yeah, I can shoot that, but when you're shooting off of like other barricades and whatnot, it's not going to be that easy. So definitely need an optic, a magnified optic of some sort. People will ask, while we're on the subject of optics, what magnification do you need? Honestly, you don't need more than 15. It's nice to have 25. Most of us are running beyond 25 magnification on the max end of our scopes, but I think you only need about 15. And most of the time when you're at a match, you'll probably be at 12. You'll be shooting at 12 magnification most of the time, because you reduce your field of view, 100 yards, you're gonna lose your target, and that's why it's nice to be able to back off on the magnification. So I guess first thing I just mentioned is just bolt rifle or a semi-automatic rifle with a detachable magazine and an optic. One other item we do need to mention though is the bipod. You definitely need a bipod. You're going to be shooting off of prone positions, and you'll need a way to get a stable position off prone, and a bipod is just the way to go. Technically you can use a bag, but it's not ideal. You kind of want to have a bipod, and a bipod can be used in other areas, but definitely want a bipod. So again, just a rifle with detachable magazine, bipod, and a magnified optic. That's kind of like your core base setup. What else will you need? Obviously, magazines, as I mentioned, detachable magazines. I say you need at least 2. The current courses of fire for the NRL22 often require more than 10 rounds. So if you live in a state where you have more than 10 round capacity in your magazines, you can probably get away with 1. However, in some cases, they might have a stage where it requires magazine change. Or, even if they don't require magazine change, I like to have 2, simply because you may have a malfunction during a stage of fire where you'll need to drop that magazine and just put in a fresh one. You might have some kind of weird feed issue with the mag, and instead of trying to pull it, try to diagnose while you're on the clock, it's just easier to drop the mag, clear, pull a spare mag out of your belt, your pocket, or whatever pouch you have, drop the new one in, and keep shooting your stage. So I think you need 2. That's just my personal opinion. You need 2, regardless of whether or not you have, a 20-round magazine or something, if you happen to have one for your gun. Definitely need, I would say, 2 mags. Now, next thing you'll need is ammo. So I have this box of Elite Club here. It shoots in this TKT-1X just fine. You will need to find ammo that shoots in your gun. Everyone who's shot rimfire knows that ammo is very particular. Rifle and ammo combination is very particular. So you need to just go to the range. If you have never, you got a rifle, you don't know what shoots accurately, you're gonna have to bring a bunch of different types of ammo and try it in your gun and find which one shoots the best. Now, just keep in mind that ammo is different from lot to lot. So when these manufacturers produce this ammo, they're making it in batches, and different batches are marked with different lots because of the procedures and maybe the powder or whatever they're doing at that time. That's locked in for that lot, and maybe the next day they'll change the lot number because it's a new day, the equipment's reset or whatever. That's a new lot. So just because Elite Club, this specific Elite Club lot is shooting well in this gun, I may buy another brick of another lot of Elite Club later and it may not shoot well. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting ammo. But generally speaking, if you find ammo that shoots in your gun, it usually should be good from lot to lot, usually. And also keep in mind that just because you may have a friend who shoots the same gun as you do, in terms of they have a 457, you have a 457, just because ammo shoots great in their gun doesn't mean it'll shoot well in your gun. It's all going to be rifle to rifle. It's like a fingerprint almost. It's going to be different every time. I mentioned the magazines already, and then so that we have as far as rifle, magazines, and ammo, the one other item we need to mention is the bag. So I have this Armageddon Gear Razor Precision Game Changer Medium bag. This is a very popular bag. This wedge style configuration where you've got this kind of indentation in the middle, and it's basically designed so that it can kind of wrap around a barricade. Just think of this as a barricade, and there might be a bar there, like a post or whatever. You can rest that on there, rest your gun, and you're good to go. That's kind of where you get your support from. Just need one bag. NRL22 can be shot with one bag. I know a lot of people now, they're running multiple bags, but generally just need one bag. And this works great for rear support. If you need one once you're shooting off your bipod prone, you can use rear support right there. It's a good setup to have this one bag. There's other options out there though. Armageddon Gear is one of the popular ones. Weebab makes what's called the Fortune Cookie. They make a big one and a small one. If that one interests you, check it out and get that. But that's kind of what you need as far as the equipment. So basically rifle setup with a magnified optic, bipod, detachable magazines, have 2 or more, some decent ammo that shoots well in your gun, and then a bag. And that's pretty much all you need to shoot in a match as far as equipment. And as far as all the knowledge, there's a few tidbits I can give you right now, and we'll just go and dive into that. When it comes to NRL22, people understand that when you're shooting at various targets at different distances, you need to know how to adjust your optic and what your holdovers may be, what your bullet drop's going to be. That's basically your dope or your bullet's trajectory. Generally speaking, you can run that through a ballistic calculator. You just plug in your velocity, plug in your bullet, your ammo type, and most of the new modern ballistic calculators, you can get them for free. You can use something on the web. There's a lot of options out there. It's no cost. They'll have that information, or you can just plug in the BC available from the manufacturer. I think Lapua, I can't remember off the top of my head, it's like 0.172 or something. Could be wrong on that, 0.17. In either case, ballistic coefficient, plug that in, plug the muzzle velocity in with your 50-yard zero, whatever zero is going to be, then it'll give you a breakdown of what your drop's going to be. So a lot of people actually don't have chronographs. If you don't have a chronograph, that's fine. Get your 50-yard zero, shoot on paper at 100 yards, kind of calculate the drop, how many mils or minutes of angle that your drop is, like on target, based on your point of impact and point of aim. Then just go to a ballistic calculator and then sort of plug in the BC for that bullet. And then you can kind of get an understanding, okay, my muzzle velocity has to be this to match my 50-yard zero with that drop. So that's another way to do it. One other item too is just having a way to write down your dope for a stage. When you go to a stage, for example, you'll have like 3 targets at 3 distances. Just know ahead of time, hey, I need 0.4 for this target, 0.8 for this target, and 1.2 for that target in terms of mils. Then just write that down somewhere, have it on you. People put it on a piece of tape, write it on their stock or whatever. They'll have like a little card that they can match their scope or their gun, or they'll just maybe have an arm board. They'll have it on their arm, a little board, and just kind of write on a card and have it there on your arm. Or just a piece of paper. You can have it on an index card and just hold that. And then once you get into position, you can just drop it down on the ground, look at it, and reference. It's kind of an idea there. That's kind of like a couple things to go in there just for anyone who's trying to get into NRL22 as far as your equipment, just how you get prepared for it in terms of just being able to shoot and hit targets. After that, just go in there with an open mind, kind of listen, make sure you follow all safety procedures, and you should have a good time at the match. Definitely reach out to your local match director if you're interested in shooting. whether or not you already have a gun or you don't have a gun and you're just starting out, reach out to your match director. They can help you out and they can set you up with other people during the match to help you succeed on your first match out. Anyway, if you have any questions about the gear and rifle, just get started in NRL22, definitely comment in the video comments and I can try to answer your questions as best I can.